Manned fighter jets are obsolete in the age of drones anyway. We'll just get pilots killed. The world's richest man, techno-billionaire Elon Musk, posted this on his social media platform X. It's triggered off a global debate. Are manned fighter jets obsolete? Now, coming to India, the Indian Air Force has a requirement of 41 fighter squadrons. It only has 31 fighter aircraft squadrons. The Air Force says it's critically deficient in fighter aircraft. It needs to acquire more of these squadrons. But here's the one thing. The Air Force is also pushing advanced drone programs for manned, unmanned teaming aircraft, where manned fighter aircraft, team up with drones, UCAVs of the kind that you see behind me. So the question we're asking today, are fighter jets obsolete? Is there wisdom in redoing our acquisition plans, given the advances made in drone technology? Joining me to discuss this, I have two very fine gentlemen here. General Arun Sahni, Group Captain Rajiv Narang, and in the studio I have with me my colleague Deepak Badana. General Sahni, welcome to the News9 Plus show.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. Pleasure to be here.
I thank you for joining us, and I want to ask you this about what Elon Musk said. I mean, Elon Musk is, move fast and break things kind of guy, and the fact that he said what he did, given the background where he comes from, he's a tech billionaire. He's made his money in launching rockets of the size that have not been done ever, and he's also retrieved them. You have to take him very seriously, General Sahni. But tell us what the advances in unmanned technology really mean for our procurement process, given the fact that you've seen the Russia-Ukraine war and you've seen unmanned combat aircraft being used in the Israel-Gaza war as well, and Israel's war with Iran. Tell us what this really means. How seriously must we look at this, re-look at this acquisition plans of ours?
I think let me put it like this, that Elon Musk is known to make disruptive statements.
Yes.
And I think if I have to read between the lines, yes, there is a very important role for technology, and that has coming in, and that needs to be adopted. That's a different point. Now, when you come up to the issue of, as far as India is concerned, I think there is no other country in the world which has a land battle space and ops requirement which is like ours, operational requirement. We have two adversarial neighbors, and I think with both of them, we've got contested borders.
Yes.
So what we're seeing in Russia-Ukraine war, where territory is involved, I think the time for conventional battle and an attrition warfare still exists as far as we are concerned in our paradigm of the foreseeable future. The issue that I would like to say is that I think what we have seen now in the Russia-Ukraine war, the impact with UAVs and unarmed vehicles have made a difference. Yes. We've also seen that after the initial success that Ukraine had, you suddenly had the counter narratives and counter measures that had been put in place, and it could have been tackled. So I think the answer for us as India is that where you have conventional threats which exist along your territorial border and your sovereignty is involved, you will have to concentrate, and the time as far as tanks and aircrafts are concerned is not over. I don't think that's it.
The time for tanks is not over, General Sahni, and the time for manned aircraft isn't over either. But Group Captain Narang, I want to bring you in on this because you've been studying unmanned combat aircraft very closely. Is there merit in us re-looking at our acquisition process? Because every year we're looking at more and more advances in unmanned combat aircraft technology. Is India spending enough on our UCAV programs? Like, we have very advanced programs like the Ghatak, for instance, but the numbers seem to be a bit skewed. Is there merit in re-looking at our high-low mix of platforms? By high, I mean the fighter jets, the manned fighter aircraft, and by low, I mean the mass-produced drones, which can be produced in the thousands, if not the tens of thousands. Group Captain Narang, your views on this?
Sandeep, first I must tell you, no country in the world has really inducted a manned fighter aircraft in the real sense. The X-47 Neuron, Chinese stealth wing fighter, even they are developing a supersonic unmanned fighter. And they are converting many manned aircraft into unmanned fighters. So yes, technological developments, they are very close to the breakthrough stage. Have they reached it? Not yet. Will they replace immediately? Not yet. But the higher level of automation is certainly on cards. Not only in military, even in civil, they are thinking of developing a regional jet or a long-range jet aircraft,
Yes.
commercial aircraft, with single pilot operations.
Right.
So higher level of automation is on cards. Are
Yes.
we at it? I think we are slow. Now I'll give you an example. If you look at our RPSA program,
Yes.
on first flight 2022, we did the scale model, 1/5 scale model of.
Yes.
I think it is still awaiting TCS approval. So
Right.
devil lies in details. We need to be sure where we have reached, where we have not reached. Here, I would also like to bring out China. Now,
Yes.
remember, China is not only developing unmanned fighters, it's developing man-unmanned teaming, and it's
Yes.
developing two different types of unmanned fighters.
Right.
And the next stage, I think, what we must realize is what was happening in the Western world.
Yes.
Now it is at the borders. So we cannot be lethargic in our program.
Yes.
Simultaneously, man-unmanned teaming project is being undertaken by the HAL in collaboration with the Indian Air Force.
Yes.
Even that project is in the development phase. Like it's not the full-fledged project has
Right.
been approved.
So,
Of course, the initial appraisal has been done.
Group Captain Narak, quickly, does it, do these projects actually suffer from a lack of funding, finance, or is it a case of the services not being as interested in it because it doesn't involve manned fighters? Is that the problem? Does it not capture the imagination because of that reason, or is there something else that is the cause for what you just mentioned?
So I think you look at three aspects of it. It's not the one cause per se. First is, has the final project has been approved?
Yes.
Answer is no. Has the funding for the full project been released? Answer is no.
Right.
Collaboration amongst entities is happening, but who's responsible? What are the timelines? I think these are the vague areas which need to be spruced up. So we are there, but we are not there. Combat aerial CATS program is being done by the HL.
Yes.
Whereas the UK program, the Ghatak program,
Yes.
is being pursued by the AD.
Right.
Now, what we must understand is Ghatak is also linked to Kaveri non-afterburner engine.
Yes.
Now, Kaveri non-afterburner engine has to be tested at a high altitude wind tunnel, which
Right.
probably they have to go abroad because it's not available.
Right.
Secondly, it has to be tested on an aircraft.
Yes.
Again, that is not available.
A test
which
bed is not
high
available.
altitude.
Yes. I mean, there you've answered some of my questions there, Group Captain Narayan. The fact that we have not created many of these testing facilities that would actually test all this cutting edge technology that you mentioned. And Deepak, lots of lessons there for us from these global conflicts. We are blessed with the fact that we are not fighting a war of the scale that Russia and Ukraine are fighting, or maybe even Israel is facing. They say that the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. We're not sweating enough, Deepak?
I'd rather put it in a different way. Yeah. What we can do instead is actually, deep dive into what is happening. There should be a thorough analysis of the different conflicts, of the tactics, of the methods that are being employed.
Yes.
And consider this, that should the 114 aircraft deal come through, it will still take another 15 years.
Yes.
By that time, technology will have moved far ahead.
Technology would have moved. That's a very valid point there, Deepak, that, the fact that we have these massive mammoth military acquisition programs that could actually, they take so many years to deliver the aircraft that by the time the first of the aircraft comes, it's already time for you to be looking at upgrades for that aircraft. General Sani, this point about our acquisition process being slower than technology development cycles, it's only getting worse as the years go on, and we are looking at very, very big programs that are stuck up, whether it's for manned fighter aircraft for the Air Force, tanks for the Indian Army, artillery systems for the Indian Army. How can you shorten these acquisition cycles and at the same time remain relevant? Given the rate of change of these technologies, the fact that you have now, for instance, we were just discussing it the other day, Deepak, wire-guided drones in Ukraine, being deployed by both sides, which are literally unjammable. But General Sani, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
think there is no magic wand by which you can fast forward your process. The Make in India program seems to have started well.
Right.
We seem to be on a firm footing. And I mean, just to put it in record, I think the first set of artillery guns are coming in now by the Tata Bharat Forge. I think the bid has been opened, so it's a matter of time.
Right.
The issue, yes, I agree with you. The biggest problem for a developing country is what to devote on niche technologies, current requirements, and future acquisitions. And the capability and capacity development. For a serviceman, I would want everything yesterday, but that's not possible.
Yes.
And similar niche technologies are not going to be provided by anybody from outside.
Right.
So I presume the R&D aspect which needed to get a greater impetus, it seems to have been given by the Prime Minister, where he has now roped in even the private industry to start being accountable.
Right.
So I think this public-private partnership is what is the way forward today.
Right.
And some of it has started happening. I totally agree with you that if I today had to take a stock of what is the requirements and what is the status, yes, it couldn't look very promising. But the point is the start has already been made. And I think the problem is really to get down from TRP 1 to TRP 5 level. But I think it's 5, 6 and 7 where the story lies. So I think the level of 4, 5 is available. We've been with the MiGs, we've been with the Sukhois, we've been as I can see it, these aircrafts were assembled. We have found parts that are manufactured in India. We have looked at replacements and upgradations, which is here. So the basic technologies exist today within the country. I think now it's moving it into the next realm where you're talking about MUMTs. You're talking about these new age weapon systems with new technologies. There is a process of development, and I think we are on the right line. I totally agree. This efforts of DRDO reforms, corporatization of the OFB, giving strategic assets and requirements to the private industry has started making a difference. So I'm basically, as a soldier, an optimist. Yes, today things don't look promising, but at least thank God for it that we have started the process here.
Yes.
I mean, the positive list which the Prime Minister had enunciated. Look at emergency purchases. He was so conscious of our procurement processes that to meet deficiencies, we've had EP1 to EP5, emergency purchases. Very shortened this whole bureaucratic hurdle which existed in our processes and procedures.
Right.
And put it within the powers of the 3 vice chiefs and the armed forces. And so that has given a fillip. So our current challenges are getting addressed. The future challenges, people have started booking it. And I think he's given the right message to industry and to the DRDO and other organizations.
Yeah, very important points there, sir, that, the public-private partnership is really important. Like while we're talking about manned, unmanned teaming, this private-public partnership is actually literally the cornerstone of our entire military-industrial complex. But quick follow-on question, Jan Sani, but, given again, back to my favorite topic, the fact that you're looking at these developments in technology, would you want to, for instance, replace all 2,300 or so T-72 tanks with another 2,300 new battle tanks? Or would you look at a kind of a manned-unmanned teaming up where you'd have like ground drones, for instance, that could do a lot of the heavy lifting as far as tanks are concerned, and similarly for fighter aircraft as well?
It's an absolutely brilliant question. Let me just put it like this, that today the policy of the armed forces is absolutely transparent. You have 30% which are current, 40% equipment which is moving towards obsolescence, and you've got 30% new age technologies or the latest current that you would like to get in. Yes, we are a little slow on this 30% which has to be of the new age, but undoubtedly the age of the current set of equipment is not over. What you have to see today is use technology to upgrade. Just look at the T-72 tank if you have to look at it. Get it smarter munitions. Give it the capacity today which is available thanks to 5G and all these mesh kind of technologies available. Let the ISR be available to the tank commander directly on a facsimile or exactly on a video conferencing capability, which is happening. It's already in the process being inducted selectively as pilot projects. You require to have the UAVs coming in and counter drone systems. So the organization structures of the reconnaissance troops are going to have UAV troops which you can launch. We have UAVs which can move on supporting all mobility vehicles to be opened up and utilized to give you immediate eyes and ears across a hump, which is like the artillery which is there to fire wherever you want it to see. So I think along with satellite communication, these capacities of long range, which you have got the male UAVs that we have already got. which are operating at different heights. We are going into that. We're trying to avoid and optimizing the hassles that exist today with manpower and other impediments. We've gone in for looking at logistic drones. We are looking at the loiter munitions that have come in to support these troops in action, both at the Air Force level, for looking at bringing out, and as far as the army is concerned, to support the activity as it's going along. So this whole meshing of tactics and operational strategy, using the new, the current, and the one which not so current, if I have to put it, obsolescence doesn't mean that it is not functional. It means, yes, there is a large amount of equipment which looks at carrying out your support structures or supporting the action as it is. So we are on the right track. Yes, a little slow, but I'm a die-hard optimist here. I think today, with all these theaterizations, talking about cutting down the OODA cycle, utilization of these, I think India is on a firm footing, and I don't think we need to get too. Yes, we need to work faster on newer technologies, make us more efficient and effective. But that doesn't mean that we are not capable today. And we've got a great leadership, political and military.
Absolutely, we have got a political and military leadership that's in sync. But thank you very much for putting that into perspective, General Sani. I'm afraid we're completely out of time. Thank you for joining us this evening. Talk about these advances in drone technology, and of course we began by talking about Elon Musk, but we're looking at how Elon Musk's statement on manned and unmanned systems could actually be utilized by India to relook at its acquisition and its battle plans when it comes to combat drones and unmanned ground systems. So thank you very much, Group Captain Naran, and of course my colleague Deepak Badana, for talking about the advances in drone technology and where India needs to step up and speed up things.